Go.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeanette Wiersma. I was born on April 16, 1970. So next month in April, I hope to be 95 years old. The Great Depression lasted during the years of 1929 to 1938. At that time, I was 12 years old until about 21. Your teacher, Mrs. Wieringa, has asked me to answer some questions for you. I'll do the best I can. And my son, Pete Wiersma, is going to ask the questions. Go ahead, Pete.
First of all, where did you live during the time of the Depression?
I lived in Wisconsin. My address was a small town, Randolph, Wisconsin. I did not live on a farm. My father was a day laborer, and he built farm buildings and did cement work. He made what do you call the bottom of a building?
Oh, the foundation?
Yeah, the foundations for farm buildings, and he also built many cement culverts on the roads.
What did your family do to save money during the Depression?
Well, most everyone wore hand-me-downs, and we sewed our own clothes. We girls would look through the Sears Roebuck catalog and point out a dress we liked and ask our mother to make one like it. My sisters did housework, and sometimes the people that they worked for would give them other older clothes that their children were no longer wearing, and my sisters would send a big box full of those home. And we loved delving into those packages to see what was there. At that time, people didn't like debt. When we wanted to buy something new, we would save the money first and then buy it. We didn't put things on a payment plan. That came quite a bit later. And later, too, I cannot think. What do you call this? Well, I'm sorry. The plan, you know. Where let's forget about it.
Okay, all right.
One other thing we did was that we fixed up, we sewed mended clothing, and we darned the socks. I think that's about all I can think of right now.
You had quite a large family, but in those hard times, what did you do for fun?
Well, we made our own fun most of the time. At the country school, we played games a lot. We played games like hopscotch, marbles, and Red Rover, and let Johnny come over. And we played ante-I over, which was the ball game where we tossed the ball over a smaller building. Two teams, one team on each side. One team would catch the ball and then run around to the other side to see if they could tag any of the other team. If they did that, they went with the team that tagged them until there was a winner. Nobody left on one side. And then the school had lawn equipment like swings, teeter-totters. We played on those a lot. I had only one doll, and it was not an American doll. It came from a Sears Roebuck catalog. And in the wintertime, we did ice skating, and we played sliding down the hill quite a bit. When we were older, we went to a lot of picnics. There was usually a 4th of July picnic, and the country schools always had a last day of school picnic, which was fun. We went to fairs, and at the churches had picnics also on the 4th of July. And the young people would have outings I remember going to the Devil's Lake State Park. We climbed the high hills there. When we went to beaches to swim, we had a beach named Heber's right near where we lived on Fox Lake.
What were some of the emotions? I guess you were in your teenage years mostly during the Depression. What were some of the emotions you had then?
Well, before being a teen, going to country school, I know that being patriotic was taught a lot. We were taught to be proud of our country. Nearly all the people were poor, so we were almost all in the same boat.
What were some of the things that you were not able to buy?
There were things that were hard to get, but one thing I remember is sugar. Sugar was rationed, and we got coupons in order to buy that. When a new child was born in the family, you got a coupon for that family. So it was another coupon, I mean. So it was at the time when our children were being born that we got extra coupons, so we really never were short of sugar because the babies didn't need it.
One of the things that happened during the Depression was the Dust Bowl. Do you have any recollection of the Dust Bowl?
The Dust Bowl was worse out west, but I do remember that the sky was a kind of a hazy brown on some of the days. But in Wisconsin it wasn't as bad as out west.
One last question. What were some of the things that you did with sacks of flour, with the sacks themselves?
Well, at first the flour was sold in white cloth sacks, and those sacks were taken apart, and they had letters printed on them, and they were very hard to get out. They had to be washed quite a bit in order to get those letters out. And at first they were just plain white, so they were used for dish towels and petticoats and undies and even sheets. I know that my mother sewed several of them together in order to make a bed sheet. And then later someone got the idea that it would be a good idea to have printed patterns on those sacks. So it was like the fabric that you buy at a store. They were printed in many different designs, and then they were used for more things like dresses and skirts and quilts and tablecloths. The sacks were used not only for flour but also for chick feed and calf feed, and the patterns were so nice that sometimes the wives went along with the husbands in order to buy the feed so that they could pick out the patterns. I made a quilt from some genuine feed sacks, and I gave it to your teacher for a shower present. Maybe someday she'll bring it to school to show you.